This is a sample of the Judge Worksheet that you will have on your clipboard. The ETS Judges Talk and Shout Out is done just before the ribbons are announced. Each judge speaks about their obstacle and gives recognition to one of the riders. This is something they really look forward to. It's meant to be educational for the riders, not a chastisement or a lesson. To help prepare you for your talk and shout out, we provide you with this worksheet. The worksheet actually does two things. It helps you prepare for what to write or comments for your obstacle. And it helps you prepare for your talk and shout out. So let's go over how this works. You're going to have this worksheet on your clipboard, and you will fill part of it out before you judge and fill the rest of it out after you judge. Before we begin, notice in the top right-hand corner of your worksheet, you will see a place to write your name, the obstacle number, and the obstacle name. Be sure to write that in. Okay, this worksheet is a three-step process. You can see the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on the left-hand side of the sheet. So for step 1, before you judge your obstacle, you will write your expectations. This is what a perfect would look like for your obstacle. For our bridge example, your expectations may be no hesitation, calm and centered while crossing with cadence, a smooth stop, and subtle cues. This should be short, simple, and to the point. Moving down to step 2, labeled critical elements, comments, and acronyms. This is where you can give your critical elements some thought for each level and visualize what you think the biggest problem areas will be. You would have read your obstacle criteria sheet and gone over your critical elements at your judge meeting. So you can jot them down here for each level in the critical elements column. For our bridge example, we have filled in crossing the bridge for level 1, crossing the bridge with a 3-second stop for level 2, and crossing the bridge with 2 3-second stops for level 3. Now, notice the list of common acronyms at the bottom of the page. These are comments that will cover 99% of any issue with any performance. So you can easily use some of these acronyms or use them as full comments and apply them to each level as appropriate in the common comments area. Here we have selected what would be common for the bridge crossing. H for hesitation, PC for poor cadence, LD for looking down, and HH for heavy hands. You can also come up with your own custom comments or acronyms as well. You can see here we have created NS, which means for no 3-second stop. And we have created DSS, which is for did not stand still. These will be useful for level 2 and 3 since they require a stop on the bridge. Also note, we have used the descriptor words. We don't just say hands, it says heavy hands. We don't just say cadence, we say poor cadence. It's important to be clear so they know what to improve on in the future. So this is an exercise that can help prepare you ahead of time for which comments would be appropriate for your obstacle. Now that you've filled out your worksheet, you should be better prepared to judge your obstacle. Okay, moving up to step 3. Step 3 is completed after you judge. This is where you will write down what the writer's tendencies were and any suggestions you may have so the writer can score better in the future. You'll write overall how writers perform the obstacle, both positive and negative qualities. But in general, it is the biggest issue you saw. For example, maybe many of the equines had a lot of hesitation and choppy cadence, but you did appreciate the patience of the riders. So this is what you would write down for tendencies. Then you can write suggestions on how to improve the performance. This should be a simple suggestion. For our bridge example, we have written, keep eyes up and look beyond the bridge, add seat and leg pressure. Next, we'll move on to the shout-out area of the page. Shout-outs are meant to spread recognition among the writers for various reasons and not necessarily to the best performance. This may be to highlight the educational aspect of your obstacle. For example, Susie's equine approached the bridge and had a lot of hesitation, but she kept her eyes up and calmly encouraged her equine forward, and her equine finally crossed the bridge. It's a wonderful way to see the rider support their equine and accomplish the obstacle. Or your shout out may be to highlight someone's horsemanship. For example, Susie's equine was very hesitant and anxious, so she calmly urged her equine to take one step at a time towards the bridge and then let her equine settle before crossing. The equine left the obstacle with a positive experience and will do better in the future due to Susie's horsemanship. Or your shout out may be to highlight sportsmanship that you witnessed. Maybe Susie felt it would be best if she just walked beside the bridge as close as she could and gave the judge a big smile. She knew her equine was not ready to attempt the bridge that day. All of these riders may not score well, but we can acknowledge their horsemanship with a shout out. At this point, you should have already checked off some shout out possibilities on your scorecard. So this is where you decide which rider you'd like to give recognition to, and you write in their rider number, name, and the reason why on the bold line of your worksheet. Keep in mind, after you read your scores to the scorekeeper, you will give them your scorecard, but you keep your worksheet as your cheat sheet for your talk and shout out. When you are asked to talk about your obstacle, you can simply read what you wrote down for numbers 1 and 3. Your shout out should be short, simple, and to the point. Should be about 2 minutes or less to help keep the awards moving forward. Here's an example of what a shout out might sound like. Hi, my name is Jane. I had obstacle 3, the bridge. For the bridge, I was looking for no hesitation, calm and centered while crossing with cadence, a smooth stop, and subtle cues. The biggest issue I saw at my obstacle was hesitation and choppy cadence, but I really liked the patience that people showed with their equines during the obstacle. But to score better in the future, I would suggest riders keep their eyes up and look beyond the bridge and keep your seat and leg pressure on to help build confidence in your equine. And this will help with hesitation and cadence. My shout out goes to Susie Wilson, rider 114. Susie's equine was very anxious, but she supported him and allowed him to approach slowly and then settled before crossing the bridge. This gave her equine confidence so that he will be less anxious and move confident in the future. Good job, Susie. Our riders love the shout out portion of the award ceremony. We are excited that you will get to experience the positive impact that shout-outs have and the inspiration it gives the competitors. This concludes our Judge Worksheet video.